As someone who was previously a newcomer to Canada, I know how nerve-wracking it is when you hear you have to file your taxes, especially if you're coming from a country where you have never filed taxes before. So today I'm going to be walking you through a step-by-step guide on how to file your taxes in Canada. If this is your first time on this channel, my name is Remy. I live in Toronto, Canada, and I share all things money, personal finance, and the goal is to help you make the right financial choices to help you build wealth in Canada. So let's get into the video. First of all, who should pay taxes? So basically, if you're a resident of Canada, you are required to pay your taxes. And you're probably wondering, okay, if I'm an international student though, I'm a temporary resident. If you earn an income in Canada, you still need to pay taxes on that income. So at the end of the day, most people are required to file their taxes. Canada operates a progressive tax system, which means the higher you earn, the more taxes you pay, as most countries operate. And also they operate a pay-as-you-earn system where when you get your pay stub, you will see that there's some deductions already happening there where you're actually paying taxes already. But then at the end of the tax season, what you are really doing now is to confirm that this is the entire income I earned and this is the amount of taxes that I'm supposed to pay. So if you also take advantage of tax benefits and tax deductions and tax credits, you can also reduce and lessen the amount of taxes you're supposed to pay and you end up getting a tax refund. And something I have to say that a tax refund is not free money. It is your money that the government has been holding on to. Now, what are the popular tax forms that you need to be aware of or know? So there's a T4 which shows your statement of income. And if you're an employee, you will always get this from your employer to show that this is how much you have earned. On the other hand, if you have a business, you would have to file it under the business income and expenses. And if you're incorporated, on the other hand, you probably need a tax consultant or accountant for that to help write the taxes. But this video is really for people that have like personal income taxes. Another tax form that is important to have is like your T5. So you get this from like investment income, interest income, and a lot of times people forget that the high interest savings account, you're getting interest from that, and that's an income. So you also have to report that. Other major tax documents that you also need to have when you're filing your taxes is your RSP deduction slip, because if you contribute to your RSP, you're also able to get a tax deductible, which also helps reduce the amount of taxes you pay. If you also have a FHSA account, that's the first home savings account. If you contribute to that account, you can get your T4 FHSA also, which you can also use as a tax deductible. Apart from that, there's things like your donations, charity receipts that you need to also get when you're filing your taxes, and also receipts of other expenses that you want to claim. Another thing is that it's very important to keep your records, because anytime the CRA could ask for documentation to prove that what you have filed for is actually your true situation in terms of income and expenses. Another important tax form to have, especially if you're a student in Canada, is your T2202, which shows your tuition tax credit. So if you school in Canada, you're able to get some credits on the amount of money that you have paid, and that credit has definitely helped in the amount of tax refunds have gotten so far in Canada. So definitely take advantage of that. Instead of filing your taxes yourself, there are other ways that you can be able to file your taxes. One is to get a representative. So you know how you see H&R Block, TurboTax, all of those places, or even like when you're walking around Toronto, especially during tax season, there's a lot of like tax preparers around, so those people can be your representatives to file your taxes. There's also free tax clinics. So if you go to CRA website, you'll be able to find free tax clinics in your area. But all those free tax clinics, they only attend to people that have simple situations. Then we also have the paper tax return. That means when you just file your taxes and you send it to the CRA by post. There's just so many ways to file your taxes, guys. At the end of the day, just file your taxes and get that tax refund back. So now let me show you guys how to file your taxes. So the first thing you're going to do is to open a Wealthsimple account, and you can find the link in my description. And then once you open that, go to your desktop or laptop or whatever platform you're using, and then log into the account and click on tax, and then file your taxes for 2024. So the first thing you're going to do once you get into it is to fill your personal information. So your name, your SIN number, all of those details. And then from there, you can also now add forms. So Wealthsimple has made it easy where you go to add forms and pick whatever forms that you have. So are you employed? Were you self-employed? Are you a student? All of these details will help them pick the right forms for your situations and that you need to fill to file your taxes. So once you do this, the forms will be auto-populated and you just need to fill the information as you go through it. So outside of this, if you already have a CRA account, maybe you already moved to Canada a while ago, but this is your first time filing your taxes, you can import your forms, because sometimes CRA already has some of these documents like your T4, your T5, and you may not need to input the data again. So just log into your CRA account and to import it. Then next is also fill in more information about yourself. Where do you live, your mailing address. If you're not single, you have to put details about your partner, so like their income and just more details about it, because Canada operates like on a household income type of basis. So they look at the household income for the year, and then that's how they give the amount of taxes that you're supposed to pay. After that, you have to fill other information, and then for the Canada carbon rebate, you just say whether you live in that area or not, because then that will help determine whether you are eligible for that. For the Ontario Trillium benefits, I always pick it. I'm not eligible, but then if you're a newcomer, you most likely be eligible for it. So click on yes. If you do not have a CRA account, don't worry about it. That's fine, because something that you also need to note is that you are only able to open a CRA account after your first tax filing. So in the initial, even though you're using Wealthsimple and they'll send the documents there through NetFile, you don't yet still have access to your CRA account yet until after that first tax that you file. So now when you go to the manage tax forms, you can also add other tax forms that maybe you may have forgotten while you were filling the initial form, and then it will pop up. So things like medical expenses, maybe if you have children, you have dependents, all of those things. If you also have crypto, you can import your slips and report your gains and losses. Now let's fill in our T4 details. What you're going to do is to write the name of the employee that you got that T4 from, and also fill in the amounts for each corresponding box. And you're going to do the same thing similarly for your T5, because you're just going to fill in the same amounts based on what you're seeing on your T5, and then you're good to go. After your T5, now we go to your FHSA. So if you contributed to your FHSA, you put the amount that you contributed. If you did not, it's fine. But an FHSA account, once you're more settled, is definitely an account to have if you want to buy a house in Canada. After that, you can then fill in your employment expenses and work from home. Nowadays, we're in the days where a lot of us are working from home or hybrid, and you can get some tax benefits and deductions there. So what you're going to do is to pick the type of employee you are, the name of the employer based on the initial T4, and then from there you're not going to calculate how much your percentage of your space went towards your work. So you're going to calculate your entire house square footage, the area in which your workspace is, the footage there. So you need to do an estimate, but make it be reasonable. You calculate the maintenance related to that space. So for me, for instance, I'm spending $50 per month on maintenance of my entire house, and so that's about $600 every year. But like the portion that is actually going towards my workspace specifically is just about $10 per month, and so that equals $120 for me. And then other expenses that you may have incurred for your entire house, including rent. So me, I just imputed my rent because I really don't have details about the other stuff. And another thing is that if you don't have proof for any of the things you're putting on your CRA filing, don't put it, just in case they ask you and they audit your taxes. So that's it. So now if you have a business or a side also, you need to fill this part too. I won't go deeper into this. You can learn more about this, or maybe like look for somebody that can help out when it comes to this. So after this, you also now need to input the amount that you contributed to your RSP. So if you have a RSP, which is a registered retirement savings account, I'm also going to do a video about all of these things very soon, and you contributed to it, you need to put the amount that you contributed to it here, because that will help with your tax deductions. Another thing is also, if you're a student, when you get to the tuition spot, you need to fill that tuition spot with all of the details on your T2202. And something I have to mention is that with the tuition tax credits, you can only get the benefits after you graduate and you start earning income. Like, I feel like it's better for you to wait until you have graduated, you're working and earning an income to get the most of it. So definitely do that. The Ontario Trillium, if you're eligible, you just need to put in the amount of money that you spend on your rent for the year, and you're good to go. And then that's everything. Like, it's easy peasy, that's all. Now you need to review and optimize your tax filing. It will give you recommendations on things that you maybe need to change, or just check again to be sure. Once you're sure that your details are good, you just need to click on submit and you're good to go. Something I'll mention is that when you want to submit, automatically Wealthsimple puts a $25, and you know the goal is to make this a free filing, so you can change the amount to 0 and then just push it forward, submit, and then you're good to go. And then you get your tax refund probably via mail, or you can call the CRA if you want them to do a direct deposit for you. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'll help you answer it. But that's how to file your taxes. Easy peasy for you to file your taxes as a newcomer, because also your situation is very, very simple. But if it's a complicated situation, as I mentioned earlier, look for help with a tax consultant, tax accountant, any one of those people to help out and ensure that you're getting the best refund back and just like not making mistakes on your taxes. See you guys next time, probably at the end of this month, because this was supposed to go in February, but see you guys at the end of the month for another video. Alrighty, bye guys.